I wanna take them. Because they are alive, but them the bigger let to them. Now they so dumb done. Now the news say all over the internet, international world, see don't they laugh free. Satellite they right up, then they watch we. Now not the clean tree, now not the pea tree, now not the watch we, see don't they retreat. But what God knows sleep, anything I plan, but it's thinking gully. But I'm too ambitious, so I'm not the big one, they want all right. Just till I want can this party, youth them focus.
Why so low? Tricks along the one to knock a tail. All the respect, not cooking and the sell. Then we don't walk on, not cooking and when fuck up when the end. This not touch your code, now we continue one to look for tea. Why so low? Why so low?
This ya not shock to me when me body call me tell me waiting the be. He said saloon they want to and don't back because some big one then save the and they bandits. He say one ya complain full of cocaine. Look na lungi fuck up well you them bring us eh. For all the angry insane man they so true bag of wing cooking and your body sing crazy. Una want make fast money but una ship west back una go make some money. Body still bad oh. I swear to God enough for be so. Now the country in him una the well so. Una too selfish. Una want get rich so una want make the youth them don't thief. Una too selfish. Una they punish. They use them when not strong with they take this.
Why so low? Why so low? Most me tricks along the one to knock a tail. All the respect, not cooking them they sell. Then we don't walk on, not cooking them when fuck up when they end. This not touch your code, now we confide them when to look for tea. Why so low? Why so low?
Yo, I'm crying on me heart where I read this news. And they cry for me country, cry for the youth them, cry for salon. Not to slow some Pierre be left for more. Not to slow Bible where be left for more. Not to slow Madam Yoko be left for more. But why now when they make mama salon they cry? What are they running? Yeah, just want a young selfish desire. When they import drugs for while the youth them, destroy the youth them, misuse the youth them. We're not import tools for agriculture. We don't lost we culture, we don't lost we structure. Trust me, some of them need torture, yeah.
Some SD record, yes, so production alongside Triad, for everything in Freetown. I play I wanna fall, and now, listen how the bomb case, it's the BB case, now.
Why so low? Why so low? Most me tricks along the one to knock a tail. All the respect, not cooking them they sell.
You the best.
Mommy they fly. Why yo, mama? Mommy they fly. Why yo, mama? Mommy they fly. Then take round, they can turn like clown. They bring they go round and round. They are like why we ate they fly. Oh yeah, you sorry yo. They know they want stay, they know they bab. Hey, watch them see then they come. Mama keep you pot, you pan, you ask you la pad. But if them go sell na cartel, what a big problem oh. But we begin them tomorrow. If we all join and on the sun and rain, teach them then go know. Never me no one let them call me junkie boy. Me not never me no one let them call me junkie boy. Why yo mama me head they fly. Why yo mama me head they fly. Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy.
All right, stay tuned to the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM from Dry Cool Music of Yesteryears, right to MRC talking about Junkie Boy. Well, Vambuda, we don't know that the Junkie Boy then. Presently, what we know, we just want bring come. We program to now the Good Morning Salon. Stay tuned.
morning. Welcome to the midweek edition of the program Good Morning Salon, where we come to you live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today now Wednesday, June 17, 2026, and where we bring the program to you this Wednesday morning. My name is Usman Kamara.
And Musa Kamara na minim. Good morning. Inside the edition of the program Good Morning Salon, we thought na every challenge is an opportunity to learn. We mean say every challenge na chance for learn something new. And we main point them for today's edition of the program Good Morning Saloon, the Director of Asset Declaration and Management Department na the Anti-Corruption Commission, Editor Fofana say the commission will take action against any government workman will not declare in assets before July 20 this year. Some people wait up na Krube and Bongaton community na the west of Freetown say the reason we make flooding can happen at the community na because of the passmark dirty where people can trade at the gutter them. And today inside the program Good Morning Saloon, we talk to the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon, the Director of Public Sector Reform Unit, Suleiman Furi Musa, and the Executive Director of Pro Idealist Limited, Dr. Victor Moinina. We will talk about the reform them, we they don't do na the public service and the impact where this gets on governance.
Remember, say the listen we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl and self you the listen we from different radio partners them across the country.
You the listen we live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM na Freetown, Radio Shalom 89.5 na Koinadugu and Falaba District, Radio Malen 88.5, Radio 1J 11.3 na Pujon District, Radio Kolente 90.0 na Cambia, Radio Moi 105.5 na Kailau, Vopad Radio na Watalo, Voice of Sando on 95.7 na Kono District, Voice of Karine na Kamakwe on 98.0, Voice of Masoro na Pujon District, Advocacy Radio na Putloko District, Radio Katbami on 106.7 na Tonko Limba, Art FM on 95.9 na Moyamba District, and Tongo Radio on 107.5 FM.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. You can be part of the program by can send you a message on WhatsApp number 077981981 or sending you a message on that same number there 077981981, or you can send you a message on Radio Democracy Facebook page and YouTube. The program na Good Morning Salon where they come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And we're bringing the program to you this Wednesday morning. My name is Usman Kamara.
Musa Kamara na minim. We start to look at the issues. We go to the Director of Policy and Coordination at the Minister of Internal Affairs, Mohamed Yoki, say the Memorandum of Understanding with the Minister of Internal Affairs concerned with the Interreligious Council now for help promote peace, safety and security and prevent lawlessness. Well, for more on this, Mary Kamara Bangura been the part of the signing and gonna reports.
I'd again say lawlessness, violence, and drugs business don't they affect different group of people, from young man, working class, to the old one them now. And this now one way government for long term now don't put different strategy them for arrest people, rehabilitate victim, and self do other thing them for this solution to this situation. But for ensure say this publicity on how bad this thing here day to the community, the religious people get big space for send message. Now for sake of this make the Ministry of Internal Affairs don't go get one memorandum of understanding with the Interreligious Council for Salon so that themselves go play in the fight against lawlessness, drugs na the country. The Director of Policy and Coordination na the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Mohamed Yoki, explained the reason for the engagement.
So basically the MOU establishes an agreement, a cooperative agreement to promote peace, safety and security, to prevent lawlessness, violence and drug abuse in Sierra Leone. We are aware about our current circumstance, with regard to violence, drug abuse, and a lot of efforts have been made, from central government to other bodies that have been working assiduously, to reverse the trend. The main reason for this MOU is actually in line in that, motive to reduce, drug abuse and violence and lawlessness in our society.
Inside a own talk, the Inspector General and the Salon Police, William Fayaselu, said the Religious Council will continue for be key player.
Today we are formally stamping an MOU to us and
the Inter-Religious Council. Council continues to be a key player in the peace and security of this country. They are very instrumental just during our civil war, towards the end of our civil war, and especially when Britain was invaded in January 6, 1999. At that time, I was attached in the House of the President. I saw how often they were meeting the late Ahmad Tijan Kaba of Desert Memory to reach a peaceful resolution with the invading fighters of this country. And even after that, the Inter-Religious Council has continued to be very important in all that we have been doing.
Where in the talk, the Minister of the Internal Affairs, Morilengo Esquire, began this for say.
So what we do after the signing, how to meet again, get the technical working group to start the implementation process. I'd like to mention certain things, with respect to traffic, flights, and all. These are all issues that we can bring on board and resolve them with this memorandum of understanding. If we see that some of those issues that he has mentioned can be handled by us, don't bring them in, because it will help, like he's saying, the respect and dignity of our country.
The Vice President na the Inter-Religious Council, Alhaji Mutada Sise, talk about the survey where in be do.
I have recently done a photographic survey of these inappropriate hoisting of our flag across the city, and I will be presenting that as a basis for social mobilization, because I think in that it's connected to the work that we are about to do. I also raised the issue of the traffic. There's a lot of irregularities taking place in the traffic. People who should be going this way come the other way. If you don't solve that problem, there are others that will remain. So let us try as we implement to connect this issue. And finally, I said to him, people sell petrol in small plastic bags in marketplaces. It's standing on if something goes wrong, there is going to be disaster. Let's correct that, and then people will move forward with development. I saw in the document the very important issue of financial obligation, and I hope that we in the Inter-Religious Council will think very seriously about the implications of what we are about to sign, because we are going to be responsible for the actions we identify, and I pray that we will get the wherewithal to do the things that we will do.
Alhaji Mutada Sise end up call on government and stakeholder them for help them so that they will get a new office space for the Society for Radio Democracy. Me na Mary Kamara Bangura the report.
The program Good Morning Saloon, it come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As we mentioned inside one power headline stories them today, the program will talk to the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon, and also we talk to the Director of Public Sector Reform Unit, Suleiman Furi Musa, and Executive Director Pro Idealist Limited, Dr. Victor Moinina. We talk today about the reform them, we don't only do the public service and the impact we this get on governance. For Sikadat, I want to welcome the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here for another time.
And also one for welcome the program, the Director of Public Sector Reform Unit, Suleiman Furi Musa. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, Musa, and good morning, Sierra Leone.
Okay, and June 23 every year, the day for the United Nations, or the day we United Nations put together for celebrates the Public Service Day, and the theme for this year, transforming public institutions, advancing innovation, participation, and inclusion. And June 20 this year, for the first time, Salon go join the celebration and go begin the new celebration to the 23. What are some of the things that we Salon they celebrate now the public sector reform, and also what are the plans them and how they hope for transform public service now Salon make we get this packed studio this morning. First of all, before we come to Fure Musa, we then don't they do a lot now the public sector reform units, so they look at government institutions then. They start with the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon. Though we can look at the day in detail later in the program, but first for somebody who they listen, this is the first time when they join the celebration. Why Salon decide for join the celebration and what it mean to now?
Yeah, thank you very much, Musa. I think Sierra Leone is part of the global village, and we are part of the United Nations. And the United Nations declared this day, June 23, as the day for public servants them across the globe. because the engine of national development, the engine of governance is the public service. And the public servant, and then they deliver services to the people of this country and the globe. When political leaders, they make manifesto commitments, then transform those manifesto commitments into national development plan, then rely on the public servant them for bring them commitment and the interactions so that they're able to deliver the services and the commitment that they make to the people of the different countries. So the United Nations here and fit say they need for declare a day for celebrate those people, those public servants, those people where they wake in the morning, left them picking them, left their wife them, left their husband and their family, come out their offices them, they the whole day. They crack them brain on how to solve complex problems them in communities in their countries them until they see the need for let them celebrate them. And so Sierra Leone as a country, we also get an obligation for join because we are part of the United Nations and the Global Village for celebrate we own public servant them in Sierra Leone. No matter what you say, they have contributed for Leo Day from 1961 independence day to this day. We still live as a nation. We still get sovereignty. It's because of the public servant them. Then don't they in existence, don't they continue for work. So that's why we join this year for celebrate.
All right, Mr. Minister. At times people get mixed up the difference between public servants and civil servants. What are the difference?
So the public servant is the broader. When you see the public service is the broader. Everybody where they work for government, where they receive money from the consolidated fund, you are a public servant. For example, if World Bank, they bring a consultant and government say we get 1% contribution to that for pay that consultant, the what's that money they come out from the consolidated fund, that individual is a public servant, even if it's a contract. Now, but a civil servant, civil service is just one sector of the broader public service. So the civil service, we call them the bureaucracy of permanency. Those are people then go to then get a code of conduct and then get a system of management where they take them from recruitment to retirement. Certain public servants, then you can recruit them on contract basis, but civil servants, them they are calling the bureaucracy of permanency. They are there till the retirement. Government comes and go, then they provide the administration for the broader public service. So that's the difference between them.
All right, as we join other country them for celebrate this day, for Salone, anything they for celebrate?
So many they for celebrate. For the mere fact we are here sitting as a government together with sovereignty, it's because we public service the work. It's because we talk about transitions, we talk about democracy. It's because we public service the work. If we are today with the seaway roads and they make, it's because of we public service the work. If we health sectors, then they improve. Just yesterday, the Minister of Health, they sent me, Falabadi perform well in terms of reduction in child mortality rate. It's because we public service, the nurses are working. If we talk about the free quality education, we talk about the increased number of graduates, we talk about value for money in education, it's because our public service are working. If you talk about electricity, this government will increase from 18 to 36% access to electricity. And we talk about 97% of solar energy. It's because the public service is working. Missy Donaya as a minister, I'm appointed by the president, and we try for reform the public service of Sierra Leone. It's because of the public service they operate. So we have so much for celebrate.
Okay. Continue for stay with we will come. We get forget the time for look at the dates and the activities that we will get. But just a preamble, you go continue for stay with we Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon. Later we'll come to you, they tell we some of the things that we don't put in place for improve this sector. You don't lavish praise on this morning. But we come to we other studio guests. We Director of Public Sector Reform Unit, Suleiman Furi Musa. Good morning once more. Welcome to the program. Good morning, Salone.
Good morning, Musa. And good morning, Salone.
What's the role of the Public Sector Reform Units in the public service, Salone?
Thank you so much, Musa. That's a very important question. The Public Sector Reform Unit done in existence for over 25 years. It starts during the time when Salone come up at war, and the then President Ahmed Tijan Kababi decided for create a reform secretariat. That reform secretariat, they will look at critical reforms them, for see how the country go tin up again. Because if you for know, the foundation of the public service been destroyed during the war. So Salon be need for tin up. And international communities have been making a lot of recommendations then for how Salon for tin up, the institutions they will for build, in terms of revenue generation, anti-corruption, and many other institutions, the NRA. So they be make their recommendations and but they be need an institution for drive then reforms then. So that was where the governance secretariat was born. So it been born as governance secretariat. Many institutions then come out of that governance secretariat day. It look at local government, look at many other aspects then. And later, as the years go by, we get transitions and other governments them. They be things say the name for change. So they've been formed as a public service, public sector reform unit. Now a critical player at that time, maybe they drive reform initiatives them, maybe they recommend to government, and they give policy advice them. So but as time changed during the new dispensation, after 2023, the public sector reform unit been gained prominence again when for the first time I can say the president will decide for create a Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs. And in the medium-term National Development Plan, it will give a prominent pillar or a cluster we can call when are transforming the public service architecture. So PSRU find themselves in that particular pillar where they speak to reforms and how we will reform the public service. Then the ministry come into being. So we collaborate and work with the ministry for ensure say the reform activities of government, then priorities that are set out in the key policy actions them, we're able to deliver them within the timelines and the specific dates them with them put at the medium-term National Development Plan.
The program Good Morning Salundi continue the country from 98.1 FM. It features the genuine inserted edition of the program. We look at efforts them for reform the public sector, and also we look at the day we Salon go join other countries them, but then we celebrate or begin their own celebration on the 20 of this month to the 23. They listen to the Director of Public Service Reform Unit, Suleiman Fure Musa, where they talk about the role na this entire system and how they help for ensure say public sector or public service improve. You don't just lay the preamble of how una come about and the role una don't they play. This BNTM una don't they do reform na different sectors then across the country. Take me through some of the findings them na then reforms them una don't they do, and waiting be lead una for do that.
Yeah, so Musa, it go good for law know the background before we come to the reforms them, so it's important. So as I say, the Ministry of Public Administration, President created because of a need. After the war, a lot of reforms then take place in this country. We all know plenty things then come. We see donor resources then come for support various institutions then. But most of the time, then reforms they are not being coordinated. So a lot of lapses then be there, or people be there operating silos. Lot of studies then be done they do. EU they don't support government a lot, IMF and World Bank. And we've been getting a popular project in this country we call the PPP project. So them projects they all come. But after that, the government see them and say, look, we need to harmonize and consolidate all the reforms they are. And such, then we create the Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs. So when the ministry come, we try for study, really what if it don't happen? What are the reforms there? Like reforms in the military, reforms in the police, reforms in the justice sector. Plenty things will don't happen. But let's look at all the reforms that will don't happen. Let's see how we will consolidate them. So we've been called one big consultative conference. We will bring all the players in together within the reform space. We even invite international people and for can help we. In that particular consultative conference, Musa and this nation, we've been able to identify what be with challenges them, what not work well, and how we go do our best. So we come out from that consultative conference with 8 pillars there. And these are the issues that will be identified when we come out from that consultative conference. We all agree in that consultative conference saying, let we develop a strategic roadmap for the revamp of the public service architecture. That means say, how we go waka, considering which side we don't come on, the gains we don't make, the lessons we don't learn, how we go build on them. So we agree, say, one, institutional reforms. Now, big problem. What in that one they mean? We mean, say, we for identify systemic weaknesses that we don't stop we for go before. We for identify absolute policies there, because if a country for go before, it depends on policies there. But we find out say most of the policies the way they drive with development strides there, they're not absolute and they're not fit for purpose. So we for identify them, then one then day. We for make recommendations there. We for restructure and re-engineer with institutions then for let them able function well. So now the number one thing that day where we discover say institutional restructuring is very important. Number two, Musa, we say let's look at human resource. If you don't do the institutional restructuring, you need people for fit into them positions then they. Because you don't go do institutional restructure, you create the structures, you create the systems, you know attract the best people. So in the manifesto of His Excellency the President, he said, Lord, attract the best brains. So under human resources, Lord, attract the best people then. Lord, build them capacity. Yeah? Then number three, we say, let we pay and reform. We find out say, in the public service, wages not harmonized. Then they pay this person so, this person so, this person so, at the same grade level. These are all systemic issues. Then. We say let we address the issues and the fair wages, wages stratification, and harmonization under this particular number three. Let we focus on that day. Then number four, we say let we try for digitize the performance management. Yes, performance management, we get the IPAS system, we get the PTT, we get other forms of performance management systems there. But how we go make them effective? How we go make them functional? How we go make it work? How we go make them accountable? So let we ensure say we digitize this entire process. Then number five, we say even the process where the public administration they work on, we need for digitize them. I remember one time me and the minister travel, we go Zambia. Among 43 countries in Zambia, they be actually for showcase how would they do with processes them, with governance processes there. It goes start for note. The minister sit down there and they ask me how they do with government processes there. Most of the things what they use are paper-based. One of the few countries that will still they use paper-based in with processes and systems them. So we say how we go digitize the entire processes with administrative processes and systems them. Then they're very, very much important. Then we also talk about public sector coordination. It's very important as I begin. I say, beaucoup money be done in this country. Beaucoup interventions they be done, but they're not being coordinated. So we say, look at coordination. How can we coordinate this space? Let we get one port and focus on what the government priorities and mean. What the government priorities and say as articulated in the medium-term national development plan. The policy actions there, the key targets there. Let we look at them. Let we find a basket fund where we will address all of the issues and so public coordination will be the most important. And the last one, we're in a cross-cutting, but not two. We're very important, now gender equality. The GIWI Act. It say, let we get 30% of women then for sit down at every leadership position. Musa, if you look around today, now most offices there, if you go meeting, you go find out, say, even across the table, you was in a social man there. You understand? So let's see how we go bring women them and attract them to the table. And finally, under that cross-cutting day, we say, let we engage citizens there. Like how would they do now? We can talk to the people them about what we don't do, the reforms that we don't take place, and how we they do them. So people go ask me questions and then go be part of the process. So far, Musa, for now we go into the reforms proper. Okay. These are the basis. We tell we, or we give you the platform as to how we forgo.
All right, we can look at them. It's pillar there, one after the other. But firstly, how you go assess the public sector at this moment?
I'll go rightly say the public sector they on the right trajectory because we get a roadmap. You know when you dey waka and you know where you dey go, fine. Then you dey go, you don't know where you dey go. So at this point, we get a blueprint, and that blueprint are the medium-term national development plan. We don't tell we the overarching priorities of government, the key government actions there, where government want deliver in the next 5 to 7 years. So we, as a people or as a ministry or as a sector, we derive, we actions them, we policy targets them from their actions and the way government set at the medium-term national development plan. So I can say the public reform, the public sector reform or the reforms, they move steadily and they go gradually.
All right, so outside the public, as you say, on a don't get a roadmap where they show outside one they go, but you can find for no outside we been there. We mean they in the right direction before we come in and try to do some of the reforms there.
As I say, plenty things happen. Plenty things happen. As I say, it was not well coordinated, but plenty things, good things happen. Now, when we set out, the first thing we do was to learn from the reforms that maybe don't take place. Those good things, we borrow them. We get lessons learned. The weakness system, how we go build on them. The challenges them, how we go surmount those challenges them. So that all help we for able position we for look at whose side we they go.
So now we look at the things that we don't highlight. One, you talk about institutional reforms.
Correct.
Let's look at institutional reforms.
Correct.
What's not been the issue with the institutions them, or what's still at the issue with the institutions them we now want reform?
Musa Adana, a very good question. We get many institutions across government from studies and from what we they see, we get duplicated responsibilities there. We don't need to shy away from that one day. Yeah, so this ministry or this architecture is set for look into them things. And they, you go get one ministry and one agency, department, we go they do the same thing as the other. We get examples of departments and agencies that within government, we similarly they do the same things there.
Take we through them, ba.
No, many of them. These are things.
Let me just get an example.
So Musa, I don't want to name names now. Yeah?
Why? Because if we want to solve the issue, we therefore name names.
So Musa, structurally, we they try to solve them problems there. So if we begin to name names, I know Allah begin cast blames. We there for solve the problems. We there for look at what not work well and provide recommendations as to how they go work well.
Now, what make I ask you for name some of the institutions then? We don't see plenty don't they raise concern, but institutions them where they exist, where they think say their institutions here, the public not even know what in they do. Right. And then think say not just job for the boys and not just like half a column, it add to the wage bill and they create much impact. Name names, but let me just point one example, like the Ministry of Western area. This ministry, what's in their role and what's in their function? I want where the public don't they ask. A lot of them then they again where they get duplicate functions then. So in studying the duplicate functions, how widespread it is within the system and how worrisome it is for the wage bill and for effective operation.
Musa, as I say, the mere fact we're able to identify this, saying a problem, it means we get solutions to that. So, but I want to let you also know, we get over 154 ministries, departments and agencies. We get 29 ministries. We get 19 commissions them across. So this is not big work, not a small thing. We agree, we identify, say there are duplications, and that is why the ministry come. And the agencies and within the ministry, and I want to let you know, say not to one agency where the ministry they collaborate with. We get many agencies like the Human Resource Management Office, Cabinet Secretariat. We get the Public Service Commission. We get also other critical agencies where the ministry they collaborate with for ensure say then things there happen. Now, when it comes to duplicated functions, when it comes to agencies or departments the way they perform the same functions, that is where we can come in with what we call a management and functional review. Management and functional review, they look at systemic weaknesses of their institutions and they study the institutions and we study the act, we study the policies, we study any instrument we create them. Then we look within the wider public service for see if then instruments and then they conflict with others. Musa, is interesting for see how we can work. We get processes where they bring all sectors together. For example, if you sector 98.1, they clash with liberty or truth. Will they bring una all to the room? We identify una areas of responsibility. We see who say una they duplicate. We show una clearly, una all understand and see say yes, una they duplicate. Some they even duplicate on the laws them. We create them. So we they able to identify and show and clearly to them, then see. Then we all profile solutions as to how we go move forward. So this has been a consultative process. Not to just that we they come and propose, say, no, this should be the recommendation. The minister seated here has been with us in some of their engagements here. 3 days, we they go out of the towns here for bring them people here together for address their issues indeed. So I can tell you, when we they come out, we they bring out the issues, and in fact, we can make recommendations in some cases for the review of the laws then, for look at the policies them, for play with them again, for make them be functional, effective, and for able to help the institutions and for function well.
Before we go over to the minister director, you don't mention about the institution the way, they perform the same function. When I get any data with the show some of the institution there, they only perform the same role at the same time. So
when we come first, what we will do, the minister being commissioned, say let we do an assessment of all the institutions there, look at their capacities there. Yeah. So I can tell you for a fact that we get a database. In fact, what we do at first when we come, we look at all institutions that within government. We look at the mandates, we look at the vision, we look at the responsibility. That able help we for able to triangulate which of the institutions there get similar responsibilities there. So we get that data there available to we, and a then our office where would they look at. In fact, that can prompt we for go into such institutions them for go do their management and functionality.
All right. Who's work specific way some of the institutions then they do with the jam with themselves?
Well, mostly in operational things them, the laws them, the powers them, the functions that we then give them. What do you for do and what do you for do? You understand what I mean? You go find out, say, one institution or several institutions, they do the same thing. You understand? Then they focus on one thing. And as Musa say, we all they run after one post. You understand? We only get with money from one post when are the consolidated fund. So if 3 institutions then they do the same thing, then they run to that same center, it means that there is a strain, you understand, of resources. So we all they go now one source for go get them money, then they for do one thing. So these are the things we they try to identify. And I can tell you, we don't do a lot. We don't make a lot of recommendations.
We come to the minister, but for you make mention of the institutions, them, agencies and commissions and ministries. According to this study, out of the number, then they almost you think say Salone forget actually, where if you pull all the duplicates one day redundant to them.
So Musa, that comes to functions. That comes to waiting an institution for doing the relevance of the institution.
If you advise government, almost institutions them, or almost commissions, agencies or ministry think say government for dissolve and allow the other for up.
Musa, these were all created because of essence and because they be important at that time. But we they try for look at now.
We are not look at them yet.
No, we they try for look at now. How can we merge some of them? How can we make some functional? How can we improve on some of them?
We not get anyone at one match.
We don't example. We don't like, for example, I can give you a vivid example of the National Investment Board. We get 3 or 4 institutions there, where they do similar things on investment. We brought them all together under one umbrella. Now we get the National Investment Board, like the PPP, the registration, the corporate affairs, and then there is another one. They all come together now. They not form one National Investment Board. So these are some of the things who they look at for ensure say institutions they're able to work well, they're able to function, they're able to pay attention to the responsibilities that we then get and drive government functions for improved service.
Continue for stay with me inside the program. We just look at institutional reforms, and Unabidon they do studies them in terms of the human resource. Now some of the offices them.
Correct.
Or can we look at some of the things that we want to find out in the relation to human resource? Usman?
The program Good Morning Salon they continue. Still inside the studios we get the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon. You know, you're waiting the director don't say, and una self get a big role for play. Them reform there we done they happen with the institution there. What una hope for see after some of the reform there?
We want forget a professional public service. That's the end result. And forget professionalism, you get different character traits we associate with professionalism. Talk about transparency, accountability, you talk about inclusion, you talk about participation, you talk about, we want to see a public service where people then take them as a career. And not on outside somebody they can't say, okay, that just can get small thing and go. Let me give you I can give you a case study. I happened for preside over the recruitment of the chief executive officer of the African peer review mechanism of the African Union in 2023. The African Union asked me for that preside over that committee of 10 other colleague ministers across Africa. And then we look at the criteria for select. Just imagine the entire Africa. They come for one position. We get over 360 applicants. When you look at the criteria, the major, the one carry the highest mark, now then say that individual for don't serve in a public service in a country at an average of 15 years in a senior position. So just imagine at the global level that they set them kind of standards then they. So what did he tell you? That the product of our country not for only be produced for compete in your own country, but also for compete at global stage. I can give you an example. Look at Sierra Leone right now. Look at the international institutions then within this country. Tell me, you go see most of them are from the South and the East Africa. Because the system then set wherein they produce public servants and then put them at the disposal of the continent and the globe. So they go there to compete. So all what they do so, now for get a professional public service, we forget professionalism, well, not only for serve Sierra Leone, but for also serve the global stage. So that's the end result we are looking at here.
Okay. Mr. Minister, the reason why I ask now that allegation around where people don't make now that most of them people working there, I mean, as public servants or in a public institution, them most of them not can get the required skill for some of the institution there. And director just talk about human resource. We're now aware of some of the concern there where people raise.
In fact, it's keep them in presentation. It's a whole pillar. Yeah. Human resource management is a whole pillar, but capacity building also is a whole pillar. So not only for manage them, but for building capacity also. Because if you want to manage people, you get for building capacity. You get to forget the need why they recruit. And when they recruit, you get to look at capacity. Where they onboard the person, you get for building capacity for they can start in work. Where they in the work, you get for building capacity for perform. So that you go able to promote them, you go able to move them to other institutions, then for perform better. Even when the person they retire, you get for building capacity because you get a lot of knowledge we need for bring back. And that's why we are establishing the Public Service Academy. The presidency and the FIT say the civil service training college is too limited to only to the civil service. It's will expand down to the entire public service. So they established the Public Service Academy where they become the hub now for capacity building. And the kind of capacity building we talk about here is about professionalism. People look themselves as career public servants. Now, we know say where they recruit you already don't get your academics. Now make them recruit you. BSc, Masters, PhD. Now make them recruit you. Those are the criteria. But when you come into the system, for them become a career public servant, they become a professional, we get certain courses the way they know they do in our universities. Okay. But we have to do them in a public, for example, ethical leadership. Yeah. Innovations. Those courses, you don't do them in university, but these are courses we can do 1 or 2 weeks. And you need to get an institution where they build those capacities so that when they come to the office system, they're able to apply them. And that's why we are strengthening the Public Service Academy. And by God in power, during this day where they give the award, there's going to be an announcement by the president for the transition of the Civil Service Training College to the Public Service Academy.
Yes. Them mentioned, them thing that we want to put in place, somebody go say very key. But one thing we don't see in the public service, now the plenty fits, whether between ministry and the agency, and also within the ministry itself. And one issue we the Director of Public Sector Reform Units just mentioned overlapping of functions. This is now one key challenge. In all, name some of the ministries or agencies that we need to overlap, but if you look at the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, and you look at national, the NACID, that civic education also, and you also get EPA, you get NPAA, you get Ministry of the Environment, you get Ministry of Sports, you get NSC. These are just some examples them where we don't see people don't they come out and say now we function this, no, now we don't function this. How this they affect public service and how we reach there?
Very important. In fact, this USA would do so right now. Why we there is as a result of that. And maybe let's go to the genesis. There are times you need for let we get the genesis, understand the process and why we get here today. After the independence, Sierra Leone don't survive about 5 successful military coups. The Jackson Smith, the Brigadier Lansana, and the AFRC, the NPRC 1 and 2. 5 successful military coups. And then they established governance. We don't succeed about 21 years one-party state in this country. 21 years, we don't have one-party state. We don't get 5 successful democratic elections in this country for introduced democracy, and we don't get 2 successful transfer of power from the incumbent to the opposition. At every level of this, you get a system of a different nature, where then they count their own policies. First, then they count their own commitment, then count their own plan, then count their own policies, for make sure they go this plan right, and they become with their young people for build those for deliver on them things then they. And in the process, we have institutions established. After the war, donor partners they also say, because of during the war we lost a lot of professional civil servants and public servants them. Then say we ministries and department agencies they not get the capacity for implement the activity programs the way they can with after the war. So they asked the government for established project implementation units. Those were established, and when the money done, those PIUs they asked the government for let them transform them into commissions and agencies. We'll get about 18 of them now, with all the liabilities. So they recruit for themselves, they negotiate salaries for themselves, they establish systems for themselves. We're not aligned with how public service will operate. So just imagine 18 commissions. If you look at the nomenclature, the designation of the leadership, they're all different. And for every designation, there is a job description, there is a salary for it. There is a different gate. CEO, chairman, commissioner, director general. All of them are different positions there, yeah? Then the systems that were set in those acts. So at times, some people in Bilan, because of now, me, they can't head this institution, so let Bilan the way I want them. They build it the way they want them. This don't go from 1961. Different government, different circumstances. As I said, the military rules, one-party state. Alma just can complete this, and democracy. Now, that's why you see what you talk about conflicting mandates. And that's why the president see the need. Face all the money in the world, build all the hospitals, make all the roads, face water, make them face all the electricity. If you don't have those institutions, repositions, reorientated, restructured, re-engineered for deliver those services, those things that with the government they deliver. Now I know the work. You know the work. We see what they happen in the military. Now take example for the military. You see the reforms that take place in the military, because we are not preparing for war. We are preparing for war, but in peacetime, how do you utilize the military? For serve the people of this country. Look at what it is in the police. Are we having a force or a police service? You see the transition that take place there. You look at the judiciary. For the first time, we don't decentralize the judiciary. We have high courts then sitting in regional office. Because how can you imagine me granny waiting in Falaba, get case with somebody, a guy for all the way na Kalalato for case, he go kind of one thing, he take in granite money. The second thing, not get money for can pay transport for car. You know the kind of that court day. That case they go there for 1, 2, 3 years, witness no day, and another candy. So the decentralization. So you see the cumbersome work where we don't put on the public service. That's why we see the reform. And the reform, not to event to. It's a process.
All right, so the car over back to you, especially we get for do with the court system. We are in, you say, on the make sure say even though you didn't at the last village, you forget access to justice and the rest. But concern again that most of the people that we can then inside and the magistrate or the judges them, you know, they can get term where they can go to them place and people concerned about that say they know they go to time. We'll come back over to you in name Amara Kalon, in the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, as today we look inside the issue of public sector reform and other things. So we'll go for a break. When we come to other studio guests, we are Dr. Victor Moyina, in the Executive Director for Pro Idealist Limited.
Bloombank Digital Banking don't come for we.
I said so. You look stressed so.
Nah, bank are the one go so.
Me sister, go digital.
Digital?
Yes, with Bloombank Digital Banking. Just tap, click, swipe and send money, receive money, check your balance, pay your bills and get quick loans before Jacko cuts your eye.
But Abula fly.
Well, bring your phone.
Not so easy and quick.
Yes, with Bloombank Digital, you can bank with freedom any side na the world. Your money is safe and secure. Also, you can do business and transfer money instantly by your currency across Africa. Quick one with Colats.
Wow! As from today, call me Isa to Bloombank Digital. And they could tell all me party them for join Bloombank Digital Banking.
Go ahead and download our digital banking app from Google Play Store and Apple Store, or visit any of our branches for further details. For no more, you can visit our website, bloombankafrica.com. Bloombank Africa. Let's make it happen.
You bland taste ice cream and you not feel like an ice cream? No worry again, because Blue Moon ice cream don't come for you.
Blue Moon ice cream na salon that they make up, and you get different flavor them like chocolates, vanilla, strawberry, almond, bubble gum, plain yogurt, chocobar, ice pop, and different other flavor them.
You're available in all supermarkets, and we shop there in Sandal Street, Wellington Street, Wilkinson Road, and Waterloo. Serve, we work man at the Waka with the push cart they sell. Now salon the factory day when they make this ice cream here. So get better taste with Blue Moon ice cream. It's refreshing and they give you more satisfaction.
For more information, you can call we on 077 633 633. Blue Moon ice cream, the taste of happiness.
From the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And inside the edition of the program features the Chenwi. We talk to the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon, and the Director of Public Sector Reform Unit, Suleiman Furi Musa, and the Executive Director, Pro Idealist Limited, Dr. Victor Moyina. Today we talk about the reform them na the public sector service and putting at the impact on the reform here, but on the governance system and service delivery. And earlier we don't talk about institutional reforms, policies reform. We talk about re-engineering, human resources, wages and salary, and other one them. We're going to discuss them in detail. But I want to welcome we other studio guests. We now Victor Moyina. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, Mr. Musa, and good morning, Sierra Leone. Pleasure for there always.
Yes, today I'm very careful not to call you Moyina Senga, because most times I can make that mistake. I'm very careful. Now you just joined the discussion, but hope say you don't follow on your way here.
Yes,
and also you've been down in our studio for a while. You get the submission of the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon, also Director for Public Sector Reform Unit, Suleiman Furi Musa. When they look at the public sector reform, today we talk about different things, and we don't start with institutional reforms. We look at overlapping. And according to the Director for Public Sector Reform, we get about 154 agencies we get 19 commissions and 29 ministries. As analysts, and we they look at national issues, them you think say Salone need this huge amount of agencies, or you think say they're very small for administration as Salone?
So I will answer your question in two parts. Do we need the agencies? Yes, we do. Reason being, some functions they will one person not able to do. And if we forget the agency we're going for address and directly, it's better. Now, how do we go about having these agencies? That's where the question lies. Because some agency, if you ask for the clear mandate of what thing then they do, they're not going to forgive you than they. When I make example of that just now, NPAA, EPA, Ministry of Environment. Then we also get Conservation Trust Fund. We also do the complement within the institutions they also do. If you get an issue with land business, despite you get three agencies, one agency with a ministry and maybe another trust fund, you also get for content with the Ministry of Lands. The Ministry of Lands will tell you, say, this area is a wetland. You go EPA will tell you, say, this is not a wetland. You go NPA will tell you different things. So you they leave the individual confused at that point in time, waiting for happen. So the first thing we may think say need for be done is we need for review waiting all the agencies, ministries, and institutions there so they do. Let we get that clear cut mandate. Another thing will be done they go on over the years, we they try for digitalize everything. You know, so we get paper-based system, it's difficult for you able to understand who's ID. We get this e-governance way they don't introduce. And I come in, I'll hear with the minister they talk say the information less. Yeah, like me, I do work for a university. We they get then short course the way we they try for introduce the practical aspects of the thing they ask to students, because we go teach all the theories in the classroom. But where you go now the practical world, it's a different thing. And sometimes where person not able to identify what's they happen in practice from what's they happen in theory, we go always get that issue there. So for let we get that clear cut example, we need for sit down with these agencies, review their mandates, what do they do, how do they do it, and when do they do it. There is a major thing we I know say una will for talk on that. Even when you talk about the commission and the compensation, wages and salaries of some of these people, somebody go in a ministry where they earn more than the other person. I can tell you, say, the payments where maybe a director, a Ministry of Finance could get, it's not equivalent to what a director at the Ministry of Social Welfare will get. It's also not equivalent to what a director at Foreign Affairs will get. So we need to get that clear-cut this distinction of how these things should work. Because when you say, like, if we're all at the same level, at least the disparity not will be too great. But if we get too great a disparity in terms of commissions, compensations, wages, and salaries, you will feel like the one person they feel like say, I know the work. Like this person has to work past me, or this ministry has to important past me. And that is where we have a problem. Even where the last hour I didn't ask, so we'll be the talk on that. The role of parliament again, as a legislative making body, people like you always look at parliaments for make laws. Parliaments get more functions than that. The other way they know they look at is the oversight. For let them provide oversight for some of the operations of this place them. And this is where we have to come in. So all of these things coming as a full package. Establishing the agencies is good, but what do these agencies do? And how do they do their work? Because if we know if I explain and they will not get nothing. And mind you, the public sector actually they work for the interest of the public. Now for we all, now we get them. If we're not able to handle our well, we don't have it. And their monies are coming from one side, the consolidated fund. Okay. And because of governments don't actually make that single treasury account where everything they go there, it's like now from there they dispense everything we need for this. So this is where we should have the distinction.
All right, Doc, when we start, Director mentioned and Minister say the main reason for this reform now for let everybody know in pathway Uda for do this and Uda for do that. But again, my colleague mentioned about institution that we nearly they perform the same role. For example, we don't get PLAB outside the Minister of Environment and NPAA. I mean, on mandate, Uda for do this and Uda not for do that. We don't get again, Usai, allegedly, the Minister of Tourism, Nabila in deputy, not the C1 side. If some of them things that they happen, with not the implication on service delivery or to the public in general.
So sometimes where issue can happen, you not just look at the institution, they look at individuals. On also, for now, on go work on the same level, but there are things on also not go agree on. It's possible. You're humans, right? When I get diverse views, but I think say it get for come back to the orientation of the person occupying the seat. That you are not going to be there forever, that somebody else have to deputize you. And if you look at the functionality of how also for work, A for B coordinate, one area we una not look at, I don't ask that question, but put an answer self. What's not the difference between National Investment Board and Register General? If you go for register some institution, they will tell you say na NIB, you for go register. If you go for register some tell you business, you go na register. No, not say so they do I get for go there. And sometimes you leave the people confused. Even the cost where you pay is quite different. Other register companies plenty. I can tell you say for register a company in a salon, it's more easier than for register a business. Because business get plenty procedure and protocol. Sometimes even the cash where you spend, it's a lot. And meanwhile, companies they generate more money past their business.
I asked the minister earlier, how will reach day? Is it for effective operations or it's just job creation?
So it's not just job creation. One thing we get for now, an institution not just they exist. We they learn every day. We get new things that will come up every day. A reform may say something be done they happen, but we need for review and look at how for change them. That is what a reform is meant to do. So if we look at waiting be done they happen before, you want to say the operations of Ministry of Lands 10 years ago now still the same operation today? Or the operations of the Ministry of Information are still the operations of today? Mind you, now, before now, we get information, communication, and broadcasting. Now we get information and civic education. So the technology aspect don't become another ministry. So you find out, say, as they evolve, we need for look at the mandates and look at the scope of how they will deliver the mandates. So yes, a reform is needed, not for job creation, now for let we able for revamp and look at what we really do well.
Yes, before we look at other issue, if you the advice as somebody who don't follow national issues, which institutions then you think say for match at this moment for effective operation?
So if I for advice, on I will get for Femi consultancy.
Yes, we will do that.
Because I will not do that for free. Yeah, so if I for advice, on I for begin for look at number one, how then they work. And I think say, like I talked the last time, civic education alone for being a standalone institution. The role where civic education they play in this country is plenty, but Kuma not even look at what really then they do. A few days ago, we hosted a program when I be a national roundtable discussion where we talk about policies, how the various political parties then forget policies attracted to the people. That is the role of civic education. Look at the roads now, the traffic lights with it. But Kuma not sabi how for use traffic lights. On my way, so you dey see some man, it see traffic light they red, so it still move. And then they cause accident. That is what people should know. Civic rights and responsibility should be taught across. And for develop a whole curriculum, if there is something like very equivalent to education. So now something where if them for merge and for look at operation scope and how they go for deliver on the mandates.
You think
the institution and book are not going on top of my head for say they for merge this and this no, but then this time ago.
So you think that
yeah.
So you think say at this moment before we go for break, we suppose for dissolve some ministry, department and agency them totally?
I don't think so for dissolve, but we for revamp the mandates.
Okay.
Continue. Because if you say they dissolve, that means say you cease for pretend. Some parts the way their functionality is very effective.
Alright, continue for the way to inside the program. In name now Dr. Victor Monyina, in our Executive Director Pro Idealist Limited. As today I will look at the public sector as the ministry and the public sector reform. They try for look into the institution and they as for let them all know their role and function for the betterment of service delivery. We'll go for a break. When we come, we continue for look at more issues.
Cecil, do you know any shop usa I go able get quality laptop or desktop computer for buy? When I go give me wahala like the last one?
Aisha, you see this Dell computer na me hand? It don't pass 8 years from where I begin use am. It no one day give me problem. Na Palestino International in shop, na 5 and 6 Gloucester Street, na they a buyer. Not to copyright Palestino they sell, na original. You see this me plasma TV, this Samsung home theater, me standing fan and mobile phone. Every day when you see them, it's like a new one. They don't pass 8 years na me hand. Palestino don't open Palestino International Computer Shop na 3 Bojon Street Bow. Also you they get all kind computer for buy. For more, just call 076 56 5432 077805898. Palestino International in Computer Shop. All team day for you.
Tell me what in the stop nonsense.
You dey look for side for keep you money and for make you business grow?
Well, now the term this so for keeping money with any community bank or financial services association, which then they call FSA, with their own side na salon, because then a good party with good condition, way easy for the ordinary man.
They go guide you fine one, but how for manage you money for change your life and the people them and your community. Member say when you keep your money in a bank where they near you not just they keep money for bye but you they help your community for go before.
So waiting you the wait, you be businessman or farmer, petit together, so you art person, teacher or anybody keep your money in any community bank or FSA where they near you and see how your life go better. Tell me what in the stop nonsense. Now money they stop nonsense.
Program Good Morning Salon, they continue inside the program where they look at another issue inside the Deputy Minister too, now the Ministry of Finance. Jenny Jabati say the biodiversity plan where the Ministry of Finance they develop now a part of government effort for raise and get copper for protect biodiversity area them. It talk this inside 1-2 days capacity building training with climate financing units at the ministry whole for ministry department and agency them, commercial bank and private sector. For Mondays, make we join Adeyemi Jackson.
Salon na member to different international organizations and agreement them like the Ramsar Convention law or protect wetland and auto biodiversity agreement. But it clear say the environment still is suffer human activity and plenty time couple for protect the environment don't be challenged. We make the Ministry of Finance the engage now with different ministry departments and agencies them for develop biodiversity financing for help protect biodiversity loss in the country. Selu Makati, head of climate financing unit, Ministry of Finance, talk more about the training whether they give to government will command them on biodiversity financing.
This workshop will get together with UNDP on what we call biodiversity finance. And how we go put resources into preserving biodiversity and protecting the biodiversity we get. Because normally this is not something we do, but it is not being documented and not accounted for. Now we join with UNDP for do this so that at the end of the day, every year, we'll be able to tell you now how much government don't spend per climate activities, specifically biodiversity.
But waiting at the impact where the biodiversity financing will bring, like for protect the country biodiversity area them, Selu Makati, he explained.
So the impact we will create when once we provide resources for protect the area there, their side and they will side will monkey then they, their side and they will side the baboon and the leaf and all. You protect them, their side and they will side the fish then they, you protect them. They continue to get them in abundance. Not so, basically they provide like, but then at the same time, people then successfully live in these communities. Therefore they use them for engage in things that we call economic activity. Then they use them, they sell, they pay school fees for them picking them, they pay health care for them picking them, and even for themselves, they provide food for themselves. So that they really fancy that one day.
The United Nations Development Program Office in Salon don't they support government for develop biodiversity finance strategy or protect the country biodiversity. we make the Deputy Resident Representative UNDP office na Salone, Kelby Britain, talk more about what UNDP think about the biodiversity capacity building where the Minister of Finance they get to recommend them from different ministry, departments and agency them.
To build a shared understanding of the biofin concept and its methodology among all stakeholders present, number one. Number two, to strengthen ownership and buy-in for the biofin process, which is essential for its long-term success. And number three, creating a platform for knowledge sharing, allowing us to capture valuable information from past and current initiatives that will enrich the implementation of biofin. So UNDP, we come in as a facilitator of support to the government, but it is you, led by the Ministry of Finance, in taking this initiative forward that will make it a success.
Inside Inyon talk, the Deputy Minister to Ministry of Finance, Janet Jabati, talk about government efforts for develop biodiversity finance plan for raise more copper for protect the country biodiversity.
The UNDP launched the Biodiversity Finance Initiative in 2012. It has since grown into the largest partnership of its kind, working with more than 120 countries to confront biodiversity loss. Through biofin, 41 countries have mobilized over $2.7 billion in finance for nature. As that support now extends, in non-member countries such as Sierra Leone, we can develop our own biodiversity finance plan and secure long-term financing at scale.
Madam Jabati also talk about the biodiversity plan, whether they develop now, which is a part of government efforts for raise awareness and self-couple, what they go use for preserve the different area them.
By institutionalizing biodiversity tagging, Sierra Leone will demonstrate its commitment, thereby unlocking access to concessional finance, grants, and innovative instruments such as green bonds and blended finance facilities. Over these 2 days, we will be introduced to the biofin instrument, the policy and institutional review, the biodiversity expenditure review, and the identification of the reliable data sources to support these reviews.
The Deputy Minister to Ministry of Finance, Janet Jabati, and for assure stakeholders them say the ministry go work for CC, they include biodiversity financing inside the 2027 budget. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Adeyemi Jackson, the report.
The program Good Morning Salone continues. Still inside the studios, we get Suleiman Fore Musa, the Director of Public Sector Reform. Before we go for that break, you mentioned about 8 pillars we get for do with human resource, digitized system, public sector, coordination, and sector. But one of the institution there or office where people may like to know if una look at get for do with the presidency office. Una may look into that office there and try to do some reforms.
Okay, so thank you very much, Adeyemi. But I'll make some quick clarifications before I go under quickly. I want to maintain here that we role a technical role. The ministry role na strategic and policy formulation so that then they guide the reform process. I want to make that clear. Secondly, I want to speak to Dr. Moinina quick and say a mention about the NIB. For say the business registration unit now the OARG don't transfer to NIB for streamline the processes them. These are all part of the reforms them will take place quite recently. That they make we get a one-stop shop so people then they able to do their businesses them quick one. Then also we talk about the land, the issues about EPA, the other agencies in the land sector, in the conservation sector. Now I make the creation of the National Lands Commission, WACAM, where they seek for streamlined functions and make National Lands Commission a one-stop shop also. So important that we know that. Then coming to your questions, Adeyemi, I believe that the office where you mentioned are one of the highest offices of the land. And one of the things will happen where the Chief Minister, David Moinina Senge, when he will take over office, in first 100 days, he being asked for we do a management and functional review for in office. For know exactly what thing they for do and which side them box stop. And we be carry on that management and functional review at the highest level. In fact, that was one of the fastest management and functional reviews we ever do. It took we 6 weeks for DUAM. When we conclude that management and functional review, we will make some smart recommendations as to how the structures and how the coordination for happen at that office. I want to say David Moinina Senge, when somebody we can push on delivery, be absorb their implementations and then them implement then at that office day, and we see what thing they happen there presently.
In the reforms, you make mention of the human resource. What do you find out, say, and the issue with the human resource in governments, ministries, departments, and agencies there?
So, Minister laid the basis as to why some of the issues they are. They tell we say some of them institutions we come with and create them because they say we not get capacity. For example, you go find out say then go count some projects them, yeah, and then projects they are sit within ministries. So you can see say they can employ people the way they say get high capacity, pass even the PS way they when they approve, then documents there. And veto them for let them implement. So most of the times, capacity issue don't be a very big concern. So now when we strategic roadmap for revamp the public service, we pick human resource as one critical pillar. That pillar they look at capacity. And how we enhance this capacity? Minister don't talk about, I want to draw emphasis on that. We find out, say, if the public service for work well, they will need for build the capacities of the one that way there. The one that way there, if they get the capacity, we need for enhance and build upon that. So what do we say we they do? We they transform the civil service training college into a public service academy, where all training, capacity building will take place. So we will train people like we will take people into the public service, they go orientate them. We will give them short trainings them for capacitate them for no waiting for happen at the public service. You go imagine somebody come to university like Musa. Right now, if you apply at the public service, you can't work at the public service. They say write memo, you don't have to write that. Memo get format, it get systems, it get way, it get language, it get things the way they look for. So you have to be trained for able to write that memo. So the Public Service Academy, they provide them trainings and they equip you enough for able to serve within the public service domain. So, as I say at DMA, human resource is a critical component. We need to get the right people with the right competencies, with the right skills then. So them skills there, we don't get a place where they build them. If you for know, the Dr. Moinina go talk about Dr. Moinina train at the East African countries, if I may be wrong. We get some other public people them, we go Ghana, Jimpa. So the JIMPA, who they see so today, where they train public administrations, is a replica of what you want create, way for train public officials them for able to deliver on waiting there for deliver. So human resource very important to it.
All right, we declare over to you, and we other studio guests. The Bolo will take with 4 sets of messages. This one from Uswem Kamara say the government is also executing structural reviews in our international capacity building partnership. Following this, there was a public service academy created with the UK Civil Service College. How far has this collaboration been implemented? However, there seems to be a bottleneck capacity building partnership relationship with European Union, EU Parliament, and the Dutch government regarding diplomatic responsibilities option. How much commitment is government showing towards the partnership, especially when we are heavily reliant on external funding? In March this year, the National Evaluation Capacity Readiness Assessment highlighted that the National M&E Agency and various ministries.
This one from Brahima Idrissa, now Facebook page. They say the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation is perfectly appreciated than its previous sanitation attachment to that of Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Therefore, it's better to expedite its management function review MFR for effective and efficient sanitation service delivery to the public. Doctor, I appeal that the stakeholder involved in the process and see reasons why to promote the 2023 presidential proclamation of environment sanitation to the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation and practically complement the process that will support its realities.
This other one again from Emanuela, I say, what are you doing to revamp the attitude of some of our public servants? The attitude are worse.
This is Indolo Langba. They say, viva to Mr. Kalon for explaining the issues to the public service and the roadmap designed to harmonize that sector, which shows that he knows the issues clearly. My question is to you, sir, is that effort has he effort has he made to make sure that at ministerial level to engage colleague ministers to devolve functions that are supposed to be functions of their respective agencies, because because what is clear is that those ministers that are obscuring the functions of their agencies are doing it deliberately to render them useless in the public sector space. From Indolo Langba, our Facebook page.
This one from Rebecca Baker said, "This is our minister and director driving real change in our public sector reforms. Well done."
Ibrahim Sise said to revamp public sector delivery, focus should be placed on accountability, staff development, and technology adoption. These are proven drivers of efficiency in many advanced public sectors. Good governance begins with effective service delivery. From Ibrahim Sise on our Facebook page.
This one from Supercaps Fude Kabakaba said, "The public sector is a very important engine. It drives economic development by building critical infrastructure, providing essential services like health, care, and education, and creating a stable regulatory framework that encourages private investment." So I agree with Doc, all his submission, and most ministry authorities need strategic training in order to change their leadership mentality to deliver standards results.
Okay, this one from John Bartolome in our Facebook page. They say, "Good morning, Radio D. I love this morning program. Want to know what tangible benefit have ordinary Sierra Leoneans seen from public sector reforms, and how can citizens measure whether these reforms are truly improving service delivery?"
This one from Umar Jallo say, "When are we expecting the civil service recruitment to be digitized? I know it is a big challenge, but it is doable."
This one from Tunde Scott now Facebook page. You say, "We are still struggling to get daily water supply here in the east. Most times 3 days a week, which is not enough to meet the demand."
All right, that not a few messages them, the first set. We'll go for short music break. When we come, I'm going to go respond to some of the messages that we people are sending inside the program this morning.
You know what time it is?
Youth man, question time. Youth man, question time. Make we learn for ask questions for things them where they happen now in sweet nation. You name the resources. Waiting them don't benefit this nation. From independence to 50 years of celebration, where they make you man and they think I'm say something for them better. If we still under British colonization. But man, they still not a question. Should be one of the richest countries in the world, but we still why we not a question? Why poor people just the poor? They rank and then they better. Why? Waiting do we not a question? Why make na salon no more the young nor they grow? Oh salon. Why we not a question? Why make na no more education nor they grow? Oh salon. How the internet slow? Now so we slow, anyone then give me say oh. Big development, corruption, first position, clap for us. I know that's such occupation.
These two come for sponsor.
Coco Bell, they beg na boduya. If una kill we slow, una shoot we right on sight. Yeah, maybe then they go better. Everybody say na 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 na. Na 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 na. Everybody say na 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 na. Na 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 na. Just tell me to go try on the best. Yes, I go try for unite this generation. Sabotage me, make them misunderstand the intentions. Making away smart, but must ask you the question. One day, mama, why we still live on the same?
I hope you enjoy the music day. We'll get into the program this morning. The song titled "Question" by Emma Sin. Before we go for that music break, Mr. Minister, we'll get some messages there. You go start for response to them, sir.
Yeah, the UK Civil Service, Foreign Musa go deal with that. The relationship, we go sign an MOU and go discuss with that. Me not to the chief diplomat of Sierra Leone. and it's a Minister of Foreign Affairs. Yeah, but maybe let me just say it because it's a public perception, it's a public issue. We want for me, I want for them to be clear. Say Sierra Leone not run on social media. Governance is not run on social media, and governance is not run on opinions or perceptions. Yeah, there are diplomatic processes and systems. If there is anything where people feel say the Dutch government is get problem with, there are diplomatic channels. And I believe say for address those issues, it's not what they put on social media, it's what went through the diplomatic channels. If anything don't come through the diplomatic channels, the public will know through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But I don't, for me, I take from the social media for support, but I know the user as a means for drive what they do. And Sierra Leone, I think what we don't, the biggest problem we don't get is how we call it the people's media don't become a serious issue to a diplomatic front. Yeah? And let we not forget the social media, most of the platforms them, what they see on social media, not to legal platforms. Second, what you see on social media is not reality. Them musicians, the way they see, then you inside your video, you see them they dress naked. Not mean saying so they dress naked. Now technology now input them for them dress naked in that video. But when you see that man, they go for meetings, you see dress officially. Where they go shooting film in video, you see address officially. So what you see on social media is not necessarily mean say the reality. These are just one for the people to understand. Not to everything you read on social media, you just stick them, you put on hook and sinker. I want to be clear on that. This issue of this sanitation portfolio at the Ministry of Health, first I want to be clear on this, because I know they come many times. The President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the Constitution gives the prerogative for the established ministries, departments, and agencies. And for move departments them from one ministry to another. It befits the President for create the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation and allow the Ministry of Health for the Ministry of Health. We have no alternative as an institution with the reforms for make sure we go into that and complete that mission there. And that mission is ongoing. That's something more to wait for. We are going to complete that transfer. Unless the President say no, we are not defending. But we are going to do that transition. And that transition is going to complete. Compromise no dependent. It's the prerogative of the President. It's an announcement from the President. And the President cannot be wrong. Now, you're not going to say the President wrong. If the President wrong, you try for make her right. Then when the time reach, then we can negotiate. But we don't question the authority of the presidency. Because now don't decide. You get the reason. For create the Ministry of Public Administration, people may ask, what is this ministry? Now people in the say, Mr. Minister, don't make this ministry, don't become something else. Not to me. It is because the President in thinking, in vision, now he make the ministry go to be so today.
If the President get the authority for create, but he get una as ministers and advisors, what una can advise some of these issues?
So that's why the MFR report, they go to cabinet. There is a process. The MFR, they come from a need. The need for doing management and functional review. Then do the process. There is a committee called the steering committee, with the chair by the secretary to president. We'll get 17 institutions who represent they validate the reports. They write a letter officially to me as the minister, then submit the report to me. I take that report to cabinet and the recommendations. Cabinet look at it. If we say sanitation does not sit well in water resources, we can make the recommendation. And can go to cabinet. Cabinet can approve, or cabinet can say no. Let it stay as it is. So that's how the process. So president can make a president appoint somebody. He go to parliament and say no, no want to. So the prerogative of the president cannot be questioned, but you get legal institutions there who can advise the president and make recommendations to the president for make a change. For now, we not get that yet.
Okay.
And so we go with the opinion, or we go with the prerogative of the president. Now, this issue of devolving functions, we don't submit the paper in the cabinet, yeah? We want for developers, we call what we call the Ministerial Code of Conduct. We don't go to call the civil service codes. We get the judiciary codes. We get the parliamentary standing orders for all those institutions. Now, for political appointees, not only ministers and deputies, but political appointees, we also need to get a code where they help them for do their work well, how they relate with agencies and commissions, waiting at the role with your civil servants them, how them for enter into their jobs, how them for exit out of their jobs. Those are the things that we kind of in that ministerial and political leadership code of conduct. And once we get and they address so many of these issues. The other document we will address most of these issues about agencies, their mandate, is the Public Service Act. Okay. I will tell them, say we don't do the policy, they don't draft the first bill. The bill don't come out. Now consultation starts next week across the country for consult on the Public Service Bill. And they address most of these conflicting issues because this is one of the documents we'll never get in this country for tell we how the public service will operate. We only get the Public Service Commission with a limited scope. Okay. Now we need a document where they give directives to the Public Service Commission on how to regulate the public service and go address most of those issues.
Continue for stay with me, sir. The program Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon. We come to Victor Moinina for response to some of the messages that we can before we come to Fori Musa.
I don't think any message come from me. I just get the compliments when I say I agree with most of what they say. The only thing no more we may go lay emphasis on is that the role of the Public Service Commission or the Public Sector Reform Unit, not to for just review, then can also make recommendations as to how some of the operationalities of government will be. Because like I can always say, governance not a one-stop shop. Also, where you just go say, give me recipe insurance. No, it's something that is evolving. And with new concepts and new ideas, talking about the e-governance, talking about other functionalities, even the PPP where you talk about public-private partnership, these are some things that they can leverage on and go discuss with the partner and then they go see how best and go. And that's, by the way, bring me to a very crucial idea we had to think of. Some of the things that we government is struggle with, you get private institutions that we then can match for able to deliver on them. And if they're able to do that, there will be a win-win situation. But of course, we all know it's not the goal of the private sector, and profits maximization, and government and service delivery. So if all two meet up, it will match for become something better.
Okay. Fori Musa?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, quick one, I jump to Dr. Moinina, then I can answer the question on the poll. Yes, Dr. Moinina, I think one of the critical things in where the management and functional reviews they do now for make recommendations. Yeah. We can benchmark for look at international best practices and then we they adapt for see what's in the fit with. So the MFR now actually a scientific process, now a study where they look at how institutions for function. So when we do that, and then we can make some smart recommendations. Then somebody talk about see we sign some memorandum of understanding with the civil service in the UK. I can one say Salone, the public administration what they run we borrow from UK. So at one point in time, the minister take a delegation to UK. Including the Director of Public Sector Reform, the Chairman Public Service Commission. We go for good study how the UK system did. In that study, they later, it been lead we for sign an MOU with the Civil Service Training College of London. And if you for know, those systems then, they don't transit a lot. As Dr. Bide mentioned, technology don't come in, innovations don't come in, digitization don't come in as to how they run them public administration. So we learn a lot from them. So what do we say? For adapt some of them things that they do, let we sign an MOU. We sign an MOU, they'll get an active MOU with the Civil Service Training College. Where they transit from to the Public Service Academy, we get for see them where them can help we for develop with curriculum them. Because one develop public servants them where they respond to emerging issues them. Issues then we contemporary. Issues we get for deal with globalization and other issues them. So we not only tap there with the Civil Service Training College, we also sign an MOU with the IDEP. IDEP na capacity na a UN arm where they into capacity building. In fact, na the repository of the UN system. Now they then they build capacities of UN staff in Senegal and they self can help we. In fact, You said they do calls with them. Well, you see, now a very remarkable institution across the world. The minister herself do calls with them. So we don't sign MOU with all of the institutions there for can help we for see how we go rebrand, reposition, and fit the Public Service Academy for be one of the best institutions them we go offer capacity to public officials in Salon.
Yes.
Before we go further, a few days ago, I been on another media. Let me get the director of the Waka Fine. They give you an illustration. Say when the bus then come, you know them they sell tickets physically, and because of that sell with them they sell ticket, then they lost money. When they decide now for go digital, then we get revenue where they come in, which is quite innovative. So sometimes I think say we for look at e-governance not only for other basic things, but we for look at on how we go run most of this thing. Because let's say for instance, if I want to do a payment, I don't need for give you the money, I can pay through Orange Money or free money. The institution they get the money because it can straight to the account. But sometimes when you get physical people there, some man they go even duplicate the ticket. They can just pull that serial number no more, then get that stamp now, then stamp and the tickets get that stamp, then automatically the institution don't lose money. So if they talk about how then they run, but running a digital system requires a lot of training, it requires a lot of information, data, even forgets connectivity. We all know how the struggle. You pay you on aliens, you know they even get the service for the internet. So we can't even talk about that. But this is something that is very much important.
I continue for the way to inside the program, Doc. We'll go for a break. When we come, we will look at the day of itself, the celebration and waiting. I mean, the ministry and public sector don't put together for the Salon. I mean, join other countries and the world for celebrate this day.
Proudly Sierra Leonean, proudly progressive.
Have you heard of J-Man Group of Companies? Building businesses, creating opportunities, and driving national growth. J-Man, building the nation. Excellence and service in every step.
Fueling the economy and powering the future with J-Man Petroleum.
Protecting lives, businesses, and investments with J-Man Insurance.
High quality tires and motor spare parts from J-Man Motors.
Guaranteed safety and protection with J-Man Security. J-Man, together we rise, empowering people, changing lives.
As an indigenous company, creating jobs, supporting communities, and contributing to economic development.
Innovation, integrity, excellence, service.
J-Man Group of Companies, proudly Sierra Leonean.
Proudly building the future.
J-Man Group of Companies, your trusted partner for progress.
For more information, contact us at 2 Adelaide Street, Freetown, or call 090 580 001.
48 teams, one champion, one glory. The 2026 World Cup is here. Call 777 now or dial star 777 hash for play and win with AfriCell. Yes, if you're not a football fan, this time you turn for win plenty amazing prizes. You can win AfriMoney, Samsung A06 smartphones, World Cup team jerseys, and plenty more inside the World Cup season with AfriCell. Call 777 or dial star 777 hash and win with AfriCell inside the promo. Or buy and activate a brand new AfriCell SIM card and you will get one chance for take part inside the AfriCell 2026 World Cup draw. This will cost you just $3 and AfriCell will send them back for you for use as on-net talk time before 12 midnight. Use your AfriMoney for W chances for win inside the AfriCell World Cup promotion. The live draw will come up after the first match every day on AYB TV, Afri TV on channel 23, AfriCell Sierra Leone Facebook page, and also live on Afri Radio. Link up with other major radio stations across the country. Call 777 or dial star 777 hash for win inside the World Cup promo with AfriCell. For more information, call 111. Terms and conditions apply.
The program program Good Morning Salon. We continue inside the program with the take walkabout.
Another morning again at the Wednesday, Oya, at the jog bag don't begin back around lonely axis. And two do not say, na jog bag, try be milk. One boy when me the work for one radio station, mean die mine. Them bike rider around that place day, not to the hollow, but some of them, it Alex say, the bike riding with the land, now for the dog people bag and phone. Officer Boy Blue, we are, put no foot then down, around lonely jog back, don't begin back, then don't begin back. Now so then jog one me man, in bag all in documents them, now so you go buffing. I see picture outside and say they don't give bail to that rider when Officer Boy Blue, me hold on mine. Who's Officer Boy Blue, me ring the baba slap. What will not know what happen? But again at the act, how come this boy go to detention? And what happen with the Officer Boy Blue, we slap and take all for the baba? You see this country, but again we not go judge. Now say, me own boss with me sabi willow, he don't know mine, and if you know it go be problem. But they tell me say, Officer Boy Blue, they not do nothing. Before that, na the keke baba na in them go lock, and yesterday then they say they don't give him bail. Under which condition mine? Building you. I see Mr. Elsa go cut the light mine. Now this are the talk say most of the government institutions then at this country then are the problem. How una go there? Una they use light, una no one pay mine. Now to back then they use guma, they use the water for let them pay na problem. Now so that building it get all the ministry, departments and agencies na dead and day. But if you see the building way dirty, now to the building get facing cloth mine. Now to them put machine for the scan people and for go up the building. That machine they don't turn furniture. Now tell me man, we can buy iron scrap motor battery. I say this week here, we go buy them so that we go cut them. Let not take space na the building. I say Uncle Tila don't vex mine. And I say Uncle Tila na here fatty and not like fatty in business. I say Uncle Tila, we me come on Babylon, where he come. Now do me the talk big man talk there. But it Alex said and disappoint them because they don't get a position. Now they around social media. They talk waiting, no good for talk. I say dangerous Tila, how you do? Anyway, if you don't left self na Babylon, they do that you music, you for better. But you don't can a tongue, me don't live that tongue, you dey Babylon. You just the talk no more. But Uncle Tila, elect you talk, say you talk calm. No position God no go give you. Me na the honorable Piki Walkabout.
Well, from Walkabout, we come to studio and look at issues. Then we take one per we headline stories. Besides, some people we tap na Kulbe and Bonga Town community na the west of Freetown say the reason we make flooding can happen na the community na because of the past mark dirty where people they throw it na the gutter them. Then people talk this then they talk about challenge we then the face inside the community when rain can come. Well, from on this we join Alaji Jallo.
Like a way the season can start, so it can affect we bad one because one the gutter then can flow with dirty. Then dirty I wouldn't need to way up tongue all na down to where the camp, and when the dirty block the water na inside we host there they go. When we get flood, it affect we because picking and the sick, even with the big one they will the sick. So we pray for anybody we go able help we from this problem. Let them go able put and let them help we from this problem. The government will take this slum out of we go gladly for that. We self can try for we safe because now you not go say you wait for government 100%. So if the government able can do something we go stop the water once and for all, for lay they affect we all the time, they go better. Let them try for help we from this disaster we take place na Pube. If they're able build retaining walls them, we go able safeguard the water, we you know go the times we host them. We go glad for that.
The dirty where they come, they affect we because when the water side block, the water they jump, they kind of host them. That's we can build water. But the dirty don't book too much. And everybody always they say clean salon has bigger than the can left not dirty. And when the dirty don't block, the salt water and the fresh water don't meet up. The rain they come, the water all they can of host them. So now there's no way we go to for the past number of the Guinean seas, build the water them, clean we also see them back. So the only thing we want our government do for we, then they put the retaining wall. Now this side go down, so the water not go able more now again. Then when they up the idling, they cut the stick there where they can down. They block the water need to go. Now we host them back the water they come.
The water inside like na Bongatongia, like get some bank in the working bank, the bank to heights. Because get water we call Justice Spring when it meets up with the rainwater, now it can cause flooding, now it can get the cause where water go inside people and room them. So like where can end this year even happen? Although the water not meet up with the rainwater, but water go inside people and place. So like that water anytime in season can come, people and can wonder but that. The cold water can so they go direct inside the room there. Even some man and so he kill it inside room without water they pass na money end up for bill and back.
If water they take over na more na the quotas and will get Newtown community when a Bongaton. People they don't take the quotas as dirty box. We be say the gutter na for water for let pass. So from Newtown community New Life City to go Lombly. All the people that are inside the gutter they trade out now. That all lead to the flooding more na Bongaton. Any small rain will come, boku people that they get water at the ocean. But the dirty itself, if they put dirty here, the mangrove the SSF, they handball. Because if they don't can fast for the mangrove day, and that I go again. Because if the mangrove no day, dirty not there at all. That I go. The challenge here is too much. Because even with the say one, you are not the dirty box. You are left for to dirty there. That cleans out where they give the dirty. And then they throw dirty there also. Who don't tell us you are left for to that and net where they always people all sleep. They begin to do dirty again. If you want to that, they don't say na one say not to dirty again. Say go there they say now. All the water where they come, nobody no diet. Na property no more keep so mine who's at the boil. But this last station here, for long water not disturb we for this last station here. Let government help we for pass the bomber retaining wall. So let the bank here stop. For let water not flood again at all. So now that we have the plead to the government, let government help with that side for pass for without retaining wall. Because if you no say if government do that for we give a strong retaining wall here, the flood the less.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue quickly with the take one of headlines story. Them the Director of Asset Declaration and Management Department and the Anti-Corruption Commission editor. Fofana said the commission will take action against any government workman we no declare in asset before July 20 this year. Editor Fofana talked this in our interview with Radio Democracy when we give update to the public about asset declaration process. He explained more to Master Swari inside this interview.
Over the years, the asset declaration will go through a lot of changes. One of them being that we're not able for limit the number of public officials. Initially, all public officials they do the asset declaration. Then they become with your own challenges. We get a lot of challenges. But then we look at in the amended acts. Now we try for specify. We kind of narrow down the scope of the one for declare so that it will be more meaningful. We're able for target people that we really matter or they will refer to as politically exposed, financially exposed people then.
So now how many people they want to target?
Well, we target public officials within one. If you're not elected offices, they in grade 7 and above na the public office. But also if you know they in grade 7, but you work get for do with mostly financials, like people that already work na the finance department, the procurement department, then kind of people that even though they may not be in the grade 7, but they're supposed to declare. So now they want and the groups and these of people the way they do their declarations.
So what type of assets then where people learn for declare?
And not just assets, we also get liabilities. So assets, of course, we get for do with fixed assets, like house, land. But you also get liabilities that get for do with money the way you get an account, money the way you don't take as loan. So I mean them will say now we're no more general we say asset declaration, but it's actually assets and liabilities. Yes. So you also go if we talk about waiting at your monthly income, waiting they get apart from your income. If you get any other, you get other side where they get income, if you get money from business, even though you're a public official. So all the one in they can fall under liability apart from the assets.
All right. So how often we public officials then can declare the assets?
So again, in the amended act, instead of every year, we don't limit it to every 2 years. So you will find out, say, if you do the last declaration year was in 2024. So now in 2 years, 2026, and that is the other declaration. So it's biannual. It's every 2 years who they do asset declaration.
So public officials they don't make him declare the assets then?
Well, I would say yes, because this year we target a little over 16,000 public officials. But so far, based on we data we get, we'll not even get up to 3,000 people in it. And the act say the declaration will be done from January to March. Of every declaration year. But this year now, we get a little bit of a delay because we did develop a new asset declaration online platform. We target this year is a little over 16,000. And now we just get just a little over 2,000 people. So imagine. But this is what usually happens for the public service generally until we get the deadline. So
when are the deadline?
So we've been starting April, supposed to be for 3 months. April, May, June. But we were magnanimous enough to say, let us do it we even extend it out to July. So July 20th of this 2026 and the closing date. So which means after that, we are closing the platform and the one that will not do the declaration as against that same day, of course, then we'll face the penalty.
So what's not the penalty if person not declared it?
So first of all, it's a process too. You know, the first thing is they develop a defaulters list and inform the public officials and say, don't do your declaration. So they give them time. So most times they will come back and do the declaration. But if after that you not do one, we get way to do we send your name for with the law say we can do withholding of salaries. That if you not do your declaration. If still after that we don't send letter, you don't do your declaration, accountant general, you not do your declaration, still it can even lead to dismissal. But we'll not ever reach to that point because most people, or let me say all public officials, once they get to that point of withholding of salaries, they will always come and do them. But I mean, enough fine for let's wait up to that point. So we encourage the public, say, now that we get time, come to the ACC. If you get any problem, go on our website on www.anticorruption.gov.sl and go to website and say declare your asset. It's very simple and user friendly. Rather than wait until July 18 or 19, people then begin flood with, so it can even be a lot of problems. The platform then will go down with all of that issues.
Well, that's not the Director of Asset Declaration and Management Department, not the Anti-Corruption Commission, Editor Fofana Media Explain Good reporter Mastan Soare. Also, is say by July 20 this year, if public will command them not declare their assets, the Commission will take serious action against them. The program, Good Morning Salon, will come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. I really bring the program to you this Wednesday morning. My name is
Musa Kamara na minim, and we still get we studio guest them, and we get the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs, and also we get the Director for Public Service Reform Unit (PSRU). We na Furi Musa, and also we get Victor Moinina. We they na the program with we. Mr. Minister, we open this program with the United Nations Public Service Day. We now July 20 this year, but Salon they start the celebration on the 20th. We don't talk about a lot of issues then. How do they use this day for address some of them challenges here so through activities?
Yeah, well, this day is really enough for let we celebrate the work of the public servant them across Sierra Leone and for give them a tap on the back. You know, they say all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. And what they talk about Pillar 5 when our wages compensation and incentive, the incentive aspect of it now they deal with so. For make sure we celebrate them, we recognize them for their dedicated service to the country, and also motivate them for let them do more. Because there's going to be an award ceremony with the President Dege Award to retired public servants and serving public servants, where for the first time we selective. It serve as a motivation that if you do well, the following year, there's probability in you, a sector, or your ministry, or department, or agency where they, then go nominate you for there you get that award the way the president will give. So it's part of the reforms. Somebody might say, well, now part of the reforms for create the incentive for let people then perform. Because salary, yes, for the increase in salary, fine. But that public recognition for what you do goes a long way for the person they get and for they do more. But the other way they behind they say, myself one forget next year. So instead they do more for them, make sure they get them. So we do this for celebrate with public servant them, and let we continue them know say we recognize them, we appreciate the work that they do for provide the services where the people of this country need.
How are they select the one them we the giddies?
So this year, because of we call them the first year they celebrate them, and the planning come just within 2 months. We just look at those retired public servants, then what we ask from we call the Public Service Academy, Public Service Commission, the HRMO, then give citations of their retired one then and we get a TIMO select, the criteria then the way the PSR you get. But also the one they then serving. And we not take only from the civil service. We take from all walks of life, the military, the police, the prisons, the teachers. We take across the board. One, so that at least for the start, let people they know say this program don't begin, and the next year now we go deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the program. Good morning, Salon. They continue. Continue for stay with me inside the program. They can look at messages, but we can't talk with Furi Musa from the Public Sector Reform Unit. And the same celebration when I get with the public administration.
Sure, the Ministry of Political Administration, the Ministry of Public Administration, Political Affairs, now the political ministry where they guide the reforms, now they lead the reforms. So whatever we they do, then get for spearhead them. Yes, this year we they join the rest of the world for celebrate the World Public Service Day. As the minister don't allude, we want to look at critical areas. We want to recognize contributions of public servants then. As we don't say now, the public service are the backbone of service delivery. We all now don't agree on that day. Now then they design policies, now they do the work. So we want to ensure so we recognize them. This they help we also for advanced good governance, for showcase innovations that we don't take place. Musa, if you go to that place there right now, institutions across government they erect booths for showcase the things that we they happen.
Who's saying for happen?
Miata Conference Center.
Miata Conference Center.
Yes.
The date again?
It starts formally with a symposium on the 22nd and the actual day na the 23rd.
The global theme na transforming public institutions, advancing innovation, participation and inclusion.
Correct.
When I get local team or when I get forgo this team.
So we dey go with the international theme, but waiting amazing now that in this symposium where I go left for invite una in the public, we organize a symposium where they bring intergenerational dialogue. What do? We search for the one that we be don't serve now the highest echelon. We don't serve as secretary to president, the likes of Julius Sandi, Osho Kuka them. We don't bring them. For really can't tell we how public administration been there. Waiting be the experience. Waiting they go impact into the younger people them. We are public officials and now. Then we also bring the new crop of public officials them where they speak to what they talk about when innovations, digitalizations, and advancing professionalism. Let them talk about how they go adapt to this new system of public administration.
Consider for stay with me inside the program, Victor Moina, they come back to you after the message here. So this one from Indolo Langba now Facebook. He said, Musa, your question on the overlapping of functions between ministries and agencies was spot on. In the case of NASED and MOIC, that's the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, the mandates are clear. The ministry is responsible for policy formulation and provides oversight. On the other hand, NASED is responsible for civic education nationwide. But what is clear is that deliberately the ministers absorb the function of NASED. My question to Mr. Amara Kalon is, what will he do to bring the two parties to a round table discussion to address this overlap?
This one from Michael say, Mr. Minister and Director, what's your findings about EDSA Guma, because this institution provide basic service to Sierra Leoneans and their service are very, very poor.
This one said, Victor Moinina, how can you use your expertise in assisting to address some of the challenges that have been highlighted this morning?
The last one I go take because of time. This one from Mystic Nadwazaki says service delivery remains a major challenge in many public institutions in Sierra Leone. As a nation, we must identify the factors contributing to poor service delivery and important effective measures to address them. Improving public services is essential for enhancing efficiency, accountability, and citizens' trust in government institutions.
Usman, the last one from me for now, I say from Usman Napoleon Koko Bangura, I say I extend my heartfelt commendation to the Honorable Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Director of the Public Sector Reform Unit, PRSU, and all coordinating institutions and stakeholders for their unwavering commitment to revamping the Sierra Leone's public service architecture. To your collective effort in driving reform, strengthening institutional capacity building, promoting accountability, and enhancing service delivery are laying a solid foundation for a more efficient, professional, and citizen-centered public service. These reforms initiatives reflect a strong vision for national development and good governance. As citizens and public servants, we appreciate your dedication to building a responsive and result-oriented public sector that met the aspiration of the people of Sierra Leone. May these reforms continue to yield sustainable progress and excellence across government institutions. This now is a best regards to Usman Napoleon Bangura. That's not the last one from me for now because of time. We come to studio guests then for respond to the messages here. So we start with Victor Moinina. You get a message, Naya. You can respond to them quick one before we come to the rest of the studio guests today.
Basically, I'm a Sierra Leonean, and of course, I'll go look for see how best I can for contributing a meaningful quota towards national development. Of course, I'm open for let we discuss and see how best we can move most of the things that we will talk about. So, for answer the question directly, yes, I'll be working with some institutions. If they ever reach out, then we can able to take a move from that side.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us at the edition of the program, Victor Moinina, for can share your thoughts on some of the things that we'll discuss inside the program, especially when you get for do with overlapping government ministries, department agencies, human resource issues, and also gender issues. Then, I come to the Minister for Public Administration and Political Affairs. Messages them come for you inside the program. You can respond to them.
Yeah, well, first of all, I have to say thank you very much to the listeners, the viewers, and the one the way they send and comment. The reform continues. It's not an event. It's a process. The Chindemboku. For 65.
Somebody
60,
asked how they bring these overlapping institutions together. So meanwhile,
say the issues are many. My sister, the deputy ambassador to Belgium, you can say the problem Demboku. We take them one by one, slowly and progressively. We therefore study some, we therefore understand some. So we are going to do it. That's why we have men at the political and strategic role at the play. The PSRU, they play the technical role. And the role women in this institution they play is a testament to what thing we want for their play in institutions. That agencies should be the technical arm of ministries. Ministries, their mandate are to provide the political and strategic leadership. Right. In policy formulation and strategic articulations. But we come to the technical aspect, that's why we have the agencies. And the relationship with me and the PSR get is a testament to that. Okay. That my ministry, we come to the technical issues, they do it. And we then carry the policy, take come and carry and go up and bring and come and then translate that into technical activities and then make sure they then drive and go down.
Okay, plenty. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Quickly, Director. Not get better. Quickly, somebody asked about EDSA.
Yeah, quickly. Well, that I don't take note as they don't talk about that. And we don't take note, and we will see how we will move with EDSA and Guma. But as the minister say, and as I can say, and the number of institutions that will get them Boku. But this work we go do them. And I want to assure the nation, say, President Bio, don't give it a work for do. And we're going to ensure, say, we do this work and improve service delivery in the country.
This just for your notice from Tambajik Betua. They say we have the Minister of Lands in Moyamba district, but the Ministry of Sanitation is still claiming to be in charge of house permits and land reforms. Is this not duplication?
So as we rightly say, the reforms are ongoing. We're not done with the Lands Commission yet. And somebody talk about how we go bring the overlapping institutions there together. What would they do? Would they ensure we bring them kind of the room? Let them all understand their roles them. And if they understand, I think we can move forward.
And maybe Musa, like this. The celebration is 22 and 23.
Yes.
Okay.
But on the 20th, this Saturday, one will get a health walk for all public servants.
Okay.
And I can tell you, we are going to have the military, the police, the fire force, and everybody is coming out. 7 o'clock in the morning, we meet in a U building. Then we work at Teguna Badin. For sure, say we need a healthy workforce in this country, and we start this celebration.
You get it for the part of the worker.
Yeah, Mrs. Eddie did it.
Mr. Minister, I think after we just go do an invoice because you just don't do this morning. So, thank you guys for joining me inside the program this morning. The last voice we just listened to, now the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon. And same way, so inside the program, we get Suleiman Fore Musa, the Director of Public Sector Reform, and also we get Dr. Victor Monyina, Executive Director, Pro Idealist Limited. Plenty thank you guys for joining inside the program this morning. When I have got the curtain door of the program, Good Morning Saloon, we come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Plenty thank you to producer Sabtu Kalon support from Enoch Abia. Plenty thank you to John Kamara, DJ Sugarcane for technical support. Me Kamara Bango, Jaffa Manzi, Bismekuna, live on Facebook. So to meet another 10 minutes, Kamara.
And Musa Kamara, say bye bye.